What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Live Game, the free agency quarantine episode. I'm oh Lord, his noise. Okay, never mind. So, I'm your co-host Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight from undisclosed locations and bunkers across America.
Bunkers, right?
It's Herman. Say what up, Herman.
Hello, hello.
It's Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Mark. Say what up, Mark.
Good evening.
And for the first time in 2 seasons, we finally got the fifth beater on the show, Maury. Say what up, Maury.
What's going on, y'all?
Thank you.
So we got a lot to discuss tonight. Lots been going on since the end of the Super Bowl in the NFL and outside the NFL. Just want to say, we wish everyone be safe out there, maintain that social distance, quarantine yourself so we can flatten that curve a little bit and get back to normal life so we can have a football season come September, because we've already our draft trip pretty much got canceled. It's done for. We were supposed to go to Vegas this month, but that's done. So, but Herman, go ahead and get us started off. Talk about the free season, everything pertaining to football. Oh, hold on, my bad.
Right,
Wait, I forgot something. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Like the channel, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Get those likes up. Brian, you know what you're supposed to do. What's the Twitter handle?
Yeah, also follow us on Twitter at the Leg Game 3.
That's right, Twitter at the Leg Game 3. Okay, now Herman, go ahead and get it started.
All right. Well, before all the coronavirus madness kind of kicked off, or in the midst of the kicking off, we had some free agent movement that went on. Like Marcus said, we had planned to bring the draft to you guys this year, but that's not going to happen because the draft has gone virtual. So we'll do a virtual draft show too. Who knows? We'll see how that works out. But let's get into some of this free agency stuff. Probably one of the biggest moves that was made during free agency is Tom Brady signing with the Bucks. Kind of a shocker. Not that the Bucks would want to get rid of Jameis Winston, because they needed to get rid of Jameis Winston, but the fact that Brady left the Patriots, I think, was the big shocker. What were you getting ready to say, Mark?
Mr. 30 for 30, Mr. Winston.
Yeah, Mr. 30 for 30, right. So who better than to kick this one off than Marcus? He used to be a Tom Brady lover. He moved on from him, but we got to start with Marcus on this.
Well, the relationship ran its course. Everybody got to move on at some point. You know what I'm saying? I think it was. I don't think anyone was really shocked. I was shocked at where he went. I wasn't shocked that he left New England. I mean, Belichick had been trying to get rid of him for a couple of years now. Word is that Belichick wanted Garoppolo to stay in New England and get rid of Brady, and Robert Kraft he nixed that and sent Garoppolo to San Francisco. So I don't think anybody's surprised was going to happen. And then the season they had last year, they went like 12-4, and they made the playoffs. The offense, that was mainly because of defense, and their schedule in the beginning was very, very weak, playing some very easy teams to beat. Everyone expected him to probably go to San Diego. They figured that's where he would do. They would need him the most. But Tampa Bay, I think that's a good choice. I don't think they might make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to really win any Super Bowls. But he gets. I think he gets 2 receivers the last year, 1,000 yards each. Mike Evans and Goodwin. Mm-hmm. So, he gets some weapons now, which, seems like Belichick refused. Well, maybe he didn't refuse, but he didn't do hard enough to get him those last couple of years in New England. I mean, he had Antonio Brown for that one game, but just one game. So, Bruce Arians' offense, they like to throw it a lot, which is, and very high-powered offense. And actually, Jameis Winston, led the league last year in passing yards? Yeah. So, he's definitely going to
interceptions.
Yeah, well, you have to worry about. I don't think you have to worry about Brady doing that.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good. I think it's a good fit. It'd be great to see him play Drew Brees and the Saints 2 times next year. Overall, I mean, I think it's a good. I think it was a good choice. I don't see him winning the Super Bowl there. They'll definitely make the playoffs. I think, especially if Carolina is still terrible and Atlanta isn't doing what he's supposed to do, but. It was a good. I think it'll be a good fit for him. He'll definitely get to air it out because that's what Bruce Arians loved to do. So,
what say you, Fifth Beatle? What do you think about Brady going to the Bucks?
I like seeing him down there in Florida. Give it a different feel. I'm waiting to see what everybody's asking. Is it the coaching or is it Tom Brady? So I'm very interested to see how he adjusts and what goes on down there. Whenever the season starts, I can't wait to see.
What say you, Mr. Mark?
Yeah, like Marcus said, I didn't think seeing him go to the Bucks wasn't so much of a big deal. It's just that team was the team that he chose. Tom even admitted towards the end of the year he kind of knew his days were numbered in New England. I think he wanted more of a commitment to play until he was 45 years old at least, and he couldn't get that commitment out of Belichick in New England, basically Belichick. But I'm interested to see what the move is. It's going to be for him down in Tampa Bay. I tell you, New Orleans fans are probably not too happy about it because that division was pretty much dominated by a lot of by the Saints and Drew Brees. But we're gonna see. One other player you forgot, you left out, Marcus. They got a nice tight end down there, OJ Howard, who's up and coming. He's gonna be a beast.
Yeah, we know how Brady likes tight ends. So
yes,
Yeah.
he's got some talent in there. The only thing they probably missing is really a number one running back. But I mean, you could, Kansas City proved this past year you can win you can go to the Super Bowl actually and win the Super Bowl with some role players at running back. So it's going to be interesting to see this. I'm looking forward to it. Also, the Bucks got some new uniforms. They went back to the old style uniforms. They got the gray on gray, which is real sharp. So it's going to be interesting.
They didn't go back to them orange sickle uniforms, did they?
They went back.
They went back to color.
They went back to they went back to the same uniform color concept when they won. When they had what's his name, Warren Sapp and them down there. Okay. But they have a gray on gray look that's real nice. It's real nice. It's gonna be interesting.
What say you, Brian?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of all you guys are saying. That the biggest thing that kind of surprised me is that before all this went down, everybody was talking about Brady to the Niners, Brady to the Chargers, Brady to the Raiders, and the Tampa Bay was kind of like a dark horse. But the way I seen it, way it went down, I mean, basically, I think they were the only team that really wanted Brady. I don't think these other teams were that interested in him.
There was two teams that were really real high for him. He didn't say who they were, but there was two more teams that were really high on him. Raiders was another one that was in the mix. But there was two teams that were really trying to get him.
Yeah, it seemed well, I guess now it's changed the light, but initially it seemed like they were the only team actually came out in advance that we want Tom Brady, and that's actually where he ended up going because I think that was his really only choice. But I mean, like I said, they got some weapons.
I thought that too.
Yeah,
go ahead.
They got weapons though, and they do have a chance because Winston. I mean, they won a lot of games last year. They were 7-9. But there were a lot of last-minute games where Winston would make a mistake and cost him the game instead of helping him. I think Brady will not do that and support him, and I think they'll win more games. Like Marcus said, they'll probably make the playoffs, but that's about as far as I see them going.
I would love to see them go to an AFC East team. That would, and then they beat the Patriots in the playoffs.
They would have to match up against the Patriots, right? Yeah.
So how do you guys feel, real quick, about how Belichick handled the situation?
I mean, we've seen it coming for years. Everybody knew.
Yeah, it's Belichick. Yeah. It's him. Most quarterbacks that win, that many Super Bowls for you, get to go off in their glory in their own time. You're kind of surprised, but not when it comes to Belichick. I mean, that's just what he does. He gets you going before you lose everything in the tank.
Belichick believes in too soon before too late.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady even said that he wanted a commitment until he was 45. Belichick wasn't going to give it to him. So he kind of knew the writing was on the wall because of that.
But he didn't get that with the Bucks, right? Because he only got a 2-year deal. And how is Tom Brady right now? He's
42 or 43?
42.
42. Okay, so he's a year shy. So, I
got one question. Will he retire a Patriot though?
Yeah,
I think
that's not even a question. Yeah, but you're always going to have this question too. Is and we won't know until his tenure is over, in with the Bucks. But does this tarnish his, his
legacy?
Legacy, yes. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word.
Not at all. I can even tarnish a legacy.
See that happening. I mean,
it's already set.
Jordan's legacy wasn't tarnished. Montana's legacy wasn't tarnished.
Right.
So I think people will forget about that and just remember the good stuff that Tom did.
It's hard to tarnish nine
Yeah.
Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowl wins. That's hard to tarnish.
I think Brett Favre's situation, when he retired, he went to the arch rivals, the Minnesota Vikings, but yet they brought him back and honored him and retired his number in Green Bay. So
that soured things there, though. That got ugly for a little bit because Brett Favre wanted revenge against the Patriots.
He did.
I mean, against the Packers. But we talk about how Belichick handled it, but what about Robert Kraft? I mean, Kraft he's the owner. He could have stepped in, made this maybe a smoother transition, or maybe made it not a transition. Where does something fall on him?
I tell you what Kraft did, though, was he gave Brady the opportunity to become a free agent. He didn't have to do that.
Because he felt like he owed it to him.
Yeah. So he played a part in that, which allowing him to be a free agent to go to wherever he wanted to go. So even though initially I think it was Belichick's decision, but Kraft gave him that leeway to say, look, you can be a free agent and you can choose wherever you want to go if this doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't going to franchise him. I don't think he wanted to do that to Brady.
I don't even think that was allowed in his contract.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think
he had a clause in his contract. They couldn't franchise him.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so then they really had nothing to hold him then because he was out from under his contract.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I find that weird because you always saw how Tom Brady and Robert Kraft seemed to be so close. But, I mean, I think
Kraft was stuck in the middle, my older quarterback or my head coach, and it really was a no-brainer. You can't,
Yeah.
I mean, because
Belichick can coach for 10 more years.
Yeah,
right.
And Brady can't.
Can't play for. Yeah, he can't play for 10 more years. So.
And where are you gonna find another Belichick?
Yeah, you probably won't.
You sure can't find it in his assistants book because none of them seem to be able to do it.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? All right, so let's move on.
Herman Marcus just streamlined us into that Texans one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Don't
even get me started on that. Oh my God.
We're gonna get to that one. I'm gonna let Marcus run a tirade on that one. But let's go to the next quarterback who signed. Teddy Bridgewater signed with the Panthers, and the Panthers have moved on from Cam Newton. That was funny, right? Cam Brady, you like that? So we can cover both of them. I totally get. I'll start this one off. I totally get why the new head coach for the Panthers, decided to move on from Cam Newton. A coach wants to be married to his quarterback, and while Cam Newton may have something left in the tank, it's been a lot of controversy with Cam Newton. It's been a lot of is he a true passing quarterback, and he brings attention to himself with his dressing and all that type of stuff. And if you're a new coach coming in and you're trying to sell your system and get guys to buy into your system, I feel like that's one of the moves that you have to make is you have to get rid of that superstar sometime if he's teetering on that. Should I get rid of him anyway? Too bad they couldn't get anything for him, and I think a lot of that plays a role because of his injured shoulder and his foot
right?
too. But his foot too. I think for the Panthers, when you're bringing in a new college coach, it's a good move to start fresh, in my opinion. You got probably the best running back in the league. So you have that weapon. You can start to build around a young quarterback. I was surprised to see them get rid of Allen and trade him.
Yeah, he's with the Skins now.
He's with the Skins. I thought maybe he would be in the picture, but I think this was a good move for the Panthers. What you think, Brian?
I think that he was in a hard place, like you said. Cam is a franchise quarterback and could be well if healthy. That's the big question. Is Cam healthy? Is he dedicated? Is he willing to put in the work? These questions we can't answer and we don't know. So, like you said, he has to be married to this guy. So it's his first chance, you get your quarterback that you already know. Cam just has too many question marks with him, unfortunately. Bridgewater, I like Bridgewater. I don't know. He just seems like a backup to me now. But, I mean, he's efficient. He's not going to cost you the game. I just don't see him winning a game for you.
Well, you gotta look
Well,
at.
I mean, if that's not what you're looking for in a quarterback, I mean, there's only so many of those quarterbacks out there.
Sure.
So
But
if you get a guy who can manage a game and is not going to turn it over, I think you're okay. Go ahead, Marcus.
Let's not forget that before Bridgewater got hurt in Minnesota, he was doing a pretty doggone good job. And let's not forget he went 5-0 last season in New Orleans when Breeze was out.
Yeah.
So I mean,
4-1, 5-4.
Yeah, think about what he had around him too.
No, he was 5-0. He was 5-0.
He was 5-0.
He won all his games.
He won all his games. Yeah.
So he wasn't spectacular with it now.
I don't think
No, he wasn't.
be.
But you don't have to be. Yeah,
He's a game manager.
And he wasn't spectacular with Minnesota.
Game manager, yeah.
He did. He was good.
He was okay. He wasn't spectacular with Minnesota either.
But
They were like
didn't ask him to do
9-7.
a whole lot either.
I'm just saying they were like
consistent
9-7 when they went to the playoffs. So they weren't. He wasn't like no juggernaut. So
They didn't have that run game. Did they have that run game?
No, they didn't.
No.
I can't remember.
I think
that.
Peterson was out by it. He was out.
I think you put Bridgewater with I always say his name wrong. Say his name, Mark.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put Bridgewater with him. I think you started something there. You have a good, start of your foundation.
I guess, but
What you think,
they need to
Warren?
back off McCaffrey, man. They was killing that little dude last year.
Yeah, they
He's
definitely
not
gotta
built
pull
for
back
that.
some.
Yeah.
He isn't built for that, but he gives him a good safety net.
That's true. That's a good point because you have to key on him. You have to key on McCaffrey.
He was their whole
So-
offense last year, pretty much.
He
Yeah, pretty
was.
much.
He was. And you're going to probably see that again. But I mean, we don't know what weapons they're going to put around him either. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what the Panthers do. Now I don't know about this coach's system because I don't watch college football that much. So we'll see.
He did turn 2 college football teams around, Temple and what's it again? Baylor, yeah.
Baylor.
He did turn around. I didn't see too many. I don't think I saw any games he coached in Baylor, but I definitely didn't see any Temple games. But for what I've heard, he he turned both of them around. But like you say, NFL is very different from college. So
Yeah, it's college.
we'll
Yeah.
I mean, he had an exciting offense with his quarterbacks. I think for college, he's very successful in college. Bridgewater, I think, is not a bad move for him because he's a game manager. I think he manages well. It's like you guys said before, it's going to really contribute. Find out whether or not the talent around Bridgewater is going to be. You need to get some. They need to find another tight end. You need to get somebody to another wide receiver. So you're gonna need some talent around him to see what he can do.
All right, so let's move on to another signing. Phillip Rivers to the Colts on a 1-year deal. What do you guys think about this one? Anybody can just jump in.
go ahead, boy. You ain't said a lot. Go ahead.
I really don't like that deal. I think he's at the end of his career for me, and he kind of reminds me of when the Bears went after that. What was his name? Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Jay
They
Cutler.
tell her.
He's at the end. They're trying to keep
Well,
him
it's a
in.
little different now. When the Bears got Jay Cutler, he was in his prime. They got him from Denver, and he was only with Denver like 3 years, so he was good at that time.
Yeah,
True.
but I see what you're getting
I don't
at.
see him doing a whole lot over there with the Colts.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, last year he was throwing picks left and right. He just was not the same quarterback. He still has that unorthodox throw that I was never a fan of from the jump. And then the only thing that's good about it is that the Frank Wright was his offensive coordinator at one time and with the Chargers. So they have some camaraderie. They have some idea of how they're going to run this offense. But I mean, last year he was just as bad as what's the name from Tampa Bay? Winston. I mean, and he's older. So I don't know. I like Moore said, I don't like it either. I think they should either stuck with the quarterback they had last year or draft somebody and start for him.
What's his name?
Jacoby
Brissett.
Yeah.
I don't get it either. It's like they're not a player away from a Super Bowl, and they're definitely not Phillip Rivers a player away from the Super Bowl. And then you only put him on a 1-year deal. Like, what is the point? I don't know. I don't get it. So
I think it's
GM,
I think it's a setback for Jacoby Brissett. I mean, why not just let him
Yeah.
keep going? I mean, you bring in this old quarterback on a 1-year deal. He'd probably be gone next year, depending on how you do this year. You know, and then if he start the season off throwing a bunch of picks, they're probably gonna put Brissett back in there anyway. So
Didn't Brissett get injured towards the end of the season last year?
I thought it was the beginning of the season. Was it the end of the beginning?
yeah, I thought it was the
Yeah,
beginning, and then he came back in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but he wasn't playing very good football near the end of the season.
No, he wasn't.
He was stinking it up.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I gotta agree with you. I gotta agree with y'all saying. It looks like to me, all he did was traded in a boat for Coke symbol. That's all it is.
Yeah,
I think you still got the same problems and issues over there.
Let's move on to the Tannehill extension. He got a 4-year extension. Pretty good contract. You think this is a good move for the Titans?
I think that was robbery. If anybody should have got a new contract, it should have been
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. He got that extension off of Derrick Henry's work. He didn't do anything in the playoffs.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. He got
Yeah,
that
he
extension.
did. He threw some balls. He was accurate when he took
Yeah, he
over
made
from
some plays.
what was the quarterback before that?
Mariota.
Mariota.
When he took
Mariota.
over from Mariota, that whole team changed. That team changed. He was making some dimes in there. He did his job. He deserved to get that contract. And you know how running backs go, Marcus. You can't weigh that dude out like you did last year and then pay him all that money because what's going to happen?
But come on, man, it was Ryan Tannehill. That was
Yeah,
all.
man.
That
Ryan Tannehill was
whole
a number
run.
one draft pick, though. He was a number one pick.
That whole playoff run was Derrick Henry. Okay, Derrick Henry.
No, that's not true. That one game was Derrick Henry. That game you remember was Derrick Henry. But Tannehill got there and he threw a real pretty pass in one of them games, like near the end zone.
He made some passes.
I mean, it was like a pretty pass. I can't remember, but it was one of the games. It might have been the
It went to the
Baltimore
tight
game.
end for the touchdown. Yes.
Yeah,
The touchdown,
yeah,
yes.
he was throwing it.
Great. I think Tannehill deserved it. He played for that. There's no way in the beginning of the season you guys told me that Tannehill was going to take that team to the playoff. In no way.
Yeah, exactly. You would have never said that
and beat the Patriots.
And the thing is, Henry had already came out and said the numbers that he wanted. He was already talking this ridiculous contract, and he can't sustain that the way that he plays. There's no way, and he hadn't done that until a contract year came up. So for them to franchise him, I think it was the smart move. And you go ahead and pay Tannehill, and the Tannehill contract wasn't a killer. You know what I mean? It was. I think I'm trying to find it. I'm searching for the contract numbers, but I can't.
But it was manageable. It's a manageable contract.
Yeah, it was a manageable. Oh, here we go. 4 years, 118 million, averaging about 29.5 million a year, including 62 million fully guaranteed.
That's
a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Good.
That's a good contract.
No, an average quarterback now is going to get 30. Going to get 30 starts.
Yeah. Right, they're going to start at 30. So, yeah, I think that's a good contract. Considering Derrick Henry said he wanted more than Zeke is making, and Zeke is making 15 million a year, I think, average. So, and you got to remember, Tannehill now that's his first year under that system, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say, I don't know, he didn't start the full year, but that might be I don't know. Did Tannehill ever finish a season in Miami? Did he do a full season in Miami?
I don't think he did.
I don't.
Maybe in 15.
I don't recall
2015 season?
Maybe 1 year, but I mean, Tannehill still has a lot to improve on. Let's just put it that way.
He's been in the league a while.
But he hasn't played a lot because he's been injured all the time.
Right.
That's the big question mark with his contract. Is his injury? He does get injured.
His injury. So I mean, you protect him, and I think they did it. I think it was a good deal for them. Nobody expected them to go where they went.
Mark's drinking while we doing it.
No, right?
I'm just wetting my throat. That's all.
I'm drinking.
It's just H2O.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, hydrated.
Somebody sneaking in behind Moore.
Wait a minute, Marcus got a beer or something over there. He
Yeah,
drinking.
it did look like a beer, didn't it?
It was sweet tea.
Nah,
Hey, boy, you recognize that glass, boy? You recognize that
Hey,
glass,
give
boy?
him a-
I recognize that class.
Hey, Marcus, can you change your hats? Can you wear that other hat behind you?
No, I didn't pick wrong this week. I wasn't lone wolfing it this week, so I'm not changing no hats.
I'm just glad you still got it, buddy.
All right, so let's talk about this trade. Diggs to the Buffalo Bills.
I didn't like that.
Very, very interesting deal. I mean, for Minnesota, and I got to pull up the with the value
because we gotta talk about this one. What Minnesota got in
compared
conversation
to
as to what the Texans got in conversation for a much better wide receiver.
They did, yeah.
For arguably
They
number
did.
one wide receiver in the league. Arguably
Yes.
number one receiver in the league.
Yeah,
Minnesota
Minnesota
did
basically they did very well. I'm searching, but y'all talk about it. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, because Minnesota, not only did I think they got like 3 draft picks out of that deal, but
Yes.
he didn't want to stay in Minnesota anyway. He was, last
Right.
year and the year before, he kept having drama. I want the ball and all this stuff, and he was going to be a malcontent. He was going to cause problems with that team. It was a good thing they got all that compensation for him, and they would be able to be successful without him.
Okay, so I found the Hopkins deal. This is the Hopkins deal. So the Texans traded DeAndre Hopkins, probably one of the best receivers in the league.
He is the number one receiver in the league.
Yeah, to the Cardinals for David Johnson, and the Cardinals also got a 2020 fourth round pick, and the Texans received a 2020 second round pick, a 2021 fourth round pick, and David Johnson. The Texans got robbed,
and they had to pay that salary of David Johnson, which is like $15 million a year.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's some off. Yeah.
Yes.
So the Texans got robbed. Now I'm looking for the Diggs deal.
Well, first of all,
go ahead, Marcus, on your rant. I know you want to go on your rant.
How you trade? You arguably got you got a franchise quarterback who is in his prime, who if he has a number one wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins, y'all can do great things. So many great things. Why would you cripple your franchise quarterback by trading away the number one wide receiver? For what?
Well, your favorite head coach in the NFL stated that Hopkins wanted a big deal. He wanted to restructure his contract again, and that they weren't going to be able to afford him anymore. But the deal he made was dumb. If that was the case, you still could have got much better for that dude than what you got.
Something else came out about this.
Yeah,
there was some contention between the head coach and DeAndre Hopkins because what's the head coach's name?
Bill
O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien had said some stuff to DeAndre Hopkins about he didn't like him having his baby mamas around the facilities. I think he said something disparaging too about DeAndre Hopkins' mom. I'm not sure what it was, but there was some bad.
Ain't his mom blind or something?
Between those two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there was some bad. I think one of the things was a big thing was about DeAndre Hopkins and having, he said to him about having his baby mamas around the facilities was a problem, and that started a bad thing between those two.
Well, if I was the owner, I'd have got rid of Bill O'Brien and kept DeAndre Hopkins. Bill O'Brien is garbage.
If you get rid of Bill O'Brien, you had to get rid of 2 people. You had to hire 2 people because he's in charge.
Well, then hire 2 people.
He got all the power.
Bill
you
O'Brien,
ain't get rid of him.
Bill O'Brien is an idiot, and I feel so.
Well, the owner's an idiot because the owner gave him the power. So
I feel so bad for Deshaun Watson. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to live up to the potential or be great like he should be great with Bill O'Brien as the coach. He could be so great. He could be a Hall of Famer. He could be a generational type quarterback, but he's crippled by who his head coach is.
Okay,
the biggest thing I take out of this trade is you got an A player and you trade him for a D player, it just don't add up. And you don't
A
you
D
don't get
player
a
with an
doesn't at
injury
all.
history and an
it,
excessive
you don't
amount in his
you don't
contract.
get
Yeah.
it don't add up. It don't.
The Cardinals absolutely got the best deal in free agency with that one.
Now the Cardinals,
Okay.
they're gonna light it up next year.
Yeah.
So Buffalo gave the Vikings. The Vikings they sent Diggs and a 2027 round pick to Buffalo for a first round pick, a fifth round pick, a sixth round pick, and a 2021 fourth round pick.
Yeah.
So
And what was the biggest
thing
what
is,
was the biggest pick that DeAndre Hopkins, what was it, the second rounder? Is that the highest they got?
that was a fourth, I think.
Oh, was it? Okay.
They got a fourth rounder
Okay.
for the Andre
All
Hopkins.
right.
Yeah, it was
I'm
a fourth
sorry.
rounder. That I mean, those two trades don't even compare.
You know,
That's-
the NFL
that's
should have
crazy.
stepped in on that when it said, nah.
Yeah, come on now, this ain't
Like,
fair.
You gotta do better than this.
Be like in fantasy.
Refuse.
No.
Yeah, that's,
Refuse this one.
that was wild.
Hopkins should have been on the do not you cannot drop list.
Yeah.
Like in fantasy.
Yeah, that's it. That was that just shows you that they just had to unload him. Like Houston just had to get rid of him.
But the thing is that you could get rid of him. Everybody, they could have done a better deal than what they got. I froze.
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Yeah.
But they could have got a way better deal than what they got. That's the part where Bill O'Brien failed. Okay, he's a malcontent. He wants a new contract. We need to get rid of him. He's your best player. Anybody would have. I mean, you saw how many people wanted Amari Cooper, and he's a much better wide receiver than Amari Cooper.
Yeah. But you would think the owner, like if you own the team, wouldn't you have stepped in and said, "Whoa, son,
I always
not happening for those."
Absolutely.
For that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little more of my investment than this, though.
Yeah.
I would have sent him a note, a text message. That's not a no, but no.
Right. It's like, why would you sit back and let that happen? That doesn't
Maybe he's not paying attention. He probably got too much trust in Bill O'Brien. I don't know. It's just
This is going either he gonna swim or sink with this one.
Yeah, and I see him sinking.
He sunk. David Johnson will probably be hurt in training camp, and then the fourth round pick that you get, I guess he's gonna be a standout on special teams.
No, he's probably gonna get cut.
Yeah,
he probably gonna get cut.
Not necessarily. Wasn't Kirk Cousins and Dak both fourth round picks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're quarterbacks.
Yes.
So I mean, you get lucky.
Yeah, but that was stupid, man. Real stupid.
The only saving grace is the division ain't that good. Besides them in Tennessee, who else? I mean, the Colts maybe. But Jacksonville's garbage, but maybe the Colts, but probably not. So that's the only saving grace is they might be able to sneak into the playoffs because of the division they in.
I'd say Tennessee is probably the
front runner.
Front runner for that division. So I mean, those were some of the biggest free agent signings. You had Byron Jones. He went to the Dolphins. It was all about the money.
Absolutely.
Dolphins have two of the highest paid corners in the league now, too, I believe. Because they had just paid their other corner last year.
Xavier Howard, yeah.
Yeah, they had just paid him.
Mm-hmm.
The 49ers traded DeForest Buckner to the Colts for a first-round pick. That's for them, as strong as that front four was, that was a good move for them because they're not really going to have a fall off, and they got a first-round pick out of it.
Yep.
But they traded what's his name, Emmanuel Sanders to somebody too. Who did they trade Emmanuel Sanders to?
Wasn't Sanders? He wasn't a free agent.
Yeah, he was.
He was a free agent.
He was a free agent.
He was a free agent.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He got 2 years, $60 million. So.
He signed with
Saints. Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
He signed with the Saints.
Yeah,
with the Saints.
You're right.
That's a good move. That's a good move.
That's nice.
Yeah,
they needed that.
Breeze already have enough weapons. Who's the other wide receiver in this for the Saints?
Thomas.
Yeah.
Mike Thomas.
Yeah, Mike Thomas. Man,
That's ridiculous, right there.
he's got an
And
abundance.
then you still got the running back, Kamara.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. They'll probably be my pick to win the division.
Yeah, that's pretty much a given. I think we can all agree on that. So let's talk about the expanded playoffs. The owners, I think they just recently voted maybe a couple weeks ago to go ahead and expand the playoffs. So now you're going to have 7 teams from each conference will make the playoffs. There'll only be one first round bye, and that'll go to the number 1 seed. So, what's you guys' opinions on this one? Let's let you start off with this one, Fifth Beetle.
I didn't understand it actually. I looked at it and it threw me for a loop. I did understand why they wanted to do it to give us more entertainment, but I'm old school. I like the way it was. You get more playing time, of course. You get more play out of the guys. It just, for me, it threw me for a loop. I really didn't like it. I really liked the way it was. It's gonna take me a minute to get used to it.
What about you,
Yeah, I
Mark?
agree with Maury. I wasn't a big fan of it either. I don't like the fact that
Mark is
what?
speaking for
Or
me.
you, Brian, whichever.
I just jumped in. Yeah, I just jumped in. I ain't even listening. I was wanting to say something, so I started
Go
talking.
ahead, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
But I didn't like the fact that now a team more than likely with a losing record can get into the playoffs. It bothered me when before with the old way where if you're like 7-9 and your division just sucked and you still had got into the playoffs and could actually be hosting a playoff game. So this new way, I think. I mean, I'm just nervous. There's going to be a lot of teams that really aren't deserving to be in the playoffs.
What about
Now
you,
you can go, Mark.
I honestly got mixed emotions about this. When I first heard about it, I was like, I'm not too sure. Then when you break it down, I mean, it's part of all the CBA, what they agreed upon. They had to give up something to get something. And this was part of the whole deal. With the playoffs, you're going to have, instead of having 2 teams wild card games, you're going to have 3 in each division. So it's going to be actually more games. It's going to bring in a little bit more revenue. I got it. And it's going to increase the player salary. On the down pole about that, you complain about injuries and the players. They're playing more games now.
Not really.
So, only if you make the playoffs.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Yes, with the playoffs. Yes,
And
yes,
it's only
playoffs.
one. It's only really one team that plays an extra game, and that's the number 2 seed.
Yes.
But I guess the bottom line to get into is when they initially first expanded the playoffs, I wasn't too happy, but I got used to it. I guess eventually I'll get used to it too.
What you think, Marcus?
I don't know. Like Brian said, I think it gives a chance for some sorry teams for another sorry team to get in there. Because a lot of times, not lately, but sometimes these wild card teams they suck. They just manage to get in, and so now you got another one going there. I'm just curious: is it possible now for a whole division to make the playoffs? Could
I think that can happen.
Think about it like that.
That would be crazy if that's the case. A whole division makes the playoffs, which I can't think of one division that would be able to do it right now.
Wait.
Yeah, it can happen. You have the division winner. You'd have the division winner.
With Pittsburgh.
You'd have the division winner, and then you'd have 3 wild card teams.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it could happen because you have 2 wild card teams now. And we've seen 3 teams get in before because it happened when Dallas, the Eagles, and I think the Giants got in, or one of the teams, 3 teams got in one time from the same division. So it could happen. It's not likely to happen, but it could happen.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and Baltimore got in it. All 3 got in it.
So
it can happen.
You're adding one more wild card team, so it could possibly happen. That's not likely, but
especially now, right now, but in the future, possibly right now, I could think of one division that could possibly get in there. But
because I'm trying to think of that last team's record and how, because they either have to be getting. Well, I guess they don't. Never mind.
What division?
I think the AFC East could do it.
Who?
The Patriots. Buffalo,
Miami.
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 Mm-hmm.
How was
Yeah,
Miami?
possibly Miami.
And that,
Oh,
Yeah,
Miami like
I
two.
took the Jets over
yeah.
Miami.
And I forgot. Yeah, and I forgot about the Jets
Yeah,
No, but
no.
I think I agree with you, Herman. I think it
or
can.
the
I
NFC
agree with you.
or the NFC North could possibly do it.
Pittsburgh.
Ravens, Pittsburgh,
You mean the AFC North? No,
AFC.
AFC North.
Cincinnati and Cleveland. You forget about that.
Yeah, I forgot about
Cleveland
Cincinnati too.
could, remember Cleveland was our Super Bowl hope
Cleveland,
last year, Marcus.
I know,
yeah,
but
they made it.
yeah, they killed that. They killed it though.
So I'm gonna tell you. So I like it. When I saw it, I like it. More games, I like it. I don't care what they do. More games means more for me to watch. But if you take last year's seedings and you add that one team in, you'd have the 8-8 Steelers would have made it in the AFC,
Yep.
and
Mm-hmm.
the 9-7 Rams would have made it in the NFC. So
That's
not necessarily a team with a losing record.
Right.
Yeah. But also, they made that number one seed very important now. Very
important. They did.
very
And
important.
I love it. I'm not even gonna lie. When they said it, I was like, yes, pass it, because it just makes playoff weekend even better. And it's funny because I don't want to hear these analysts say, well, that's not fair to the number 2 team who would usually get a bye, because you have a lot of these analysts that say, hey, it's better to just keep playing anyway. When
If
your
you're
team is hot,
Right.
when your team is on a roll, it's better to just keep playing. So now we're gonna see if you're the number two seed, you probably was on a roll.
So
We're gonna see now, because you're gonna get to keep playing.
that means if this would happen last year, the Chiefs wouldn't even had a bye week.
Nope.
Yes.
Sure wouldn't.
Yep.
That's true. Yep.
Very interesting. I like it though, for real. I think I like it a lot. Oh, so we got the the only reason we're talking about football is because they did sign the collective bargaining agreement. The players, they barely passed it. I think it passed by
It was one. It
60
was
some votes or 6.
yeah. It was 1,059 to 957.
Okay.
The 1,059 was for it. 957 was against it. So it was a very
Yeah.
slim margin.
So we got 10 more years of football to talk about. I think the players got some concessions when it comes to marijuana usage, but a lot of other players, well, they did. That was one of the big things they talked about. A lot of the other players didn't quite like some of the things that was in the collective bargaining agreement. One of the things that they did lose out on, or they conceded to, was that the owners possibly going to a 17-game season now, and they said that they can phase that in as early as next season, I believe. So, do you guys think that next season? You guys think that one game is too much? I was hearing some things about, and I don't think they instituted this, but they were talking about maybe you can only play a player can only do 16 games, like, so you have to rotate or manage your roster. What do you guys think about the 17-game season?
Well, that one is. I mean, suppose you need one game to make it in the playoffs, but you got to sit your starting quarterback out.
You better manage the team properly.
Also, remember they went to a 55-man roster too, so they increased the roster too.
They did.
So
they did increase the roster. I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard that they were getting rid of preseason to do this.
I thought they were dropping a preseason game.
They're gonna slim a couple of games. Yeah.
They were taking
a
at least a game.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one game. The thing that's weird to me is, like, it's one game. So, like, they're gonna. I think I read something where they said they were gonna talk about using this one game, like, for out of market games and stuff, so that no team will have 9 home games one year and 8 road games.
You mean like those London games or Mexico City games?
Yeah, those London games and Mexico City games and stuff like that. Even though you'll have a quote unquote home game, but you wouldn't be in your home stadium. So I really don't know about this whole 17th game thing. It's again more football for us to watch. I don't think it's going to drop the quality of the game, but I get where the players are coming from with their concern when it comes to health and things like that.
They better start doing like doing.
the
They better start doing like
the main players that were upset were the ones that have contracts, big time contracts.
Yeah.
Now the grunts in the NFL who make up the majority of it are getting a big bump in salary because of this 17th game.
Right.
So they were all for it. But it's just the guys that got, your Brady's, your Manning. I mean, not Manning. Your all your high time players. Yeah. They were the ones that were upset about it.
It put a ceiling on it. They kind of put a cap form on it. But just like you were saying, as far as like the minimum wage players, they're getting it like an increase of like 12%, and even more if they have a bonus contract, performance bonus contract. So they can, as far as players, the players themselves can make $100 million more as far as player revenue than what they did before, as far as the minimum wage players. But like you say, your high price players, they're upset because I think they put a cap for them for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it also benefits the retired players. The retired players are going to be getting more now as well.
Yes.
So,
that's what
so really only the big superstars were the ones who really were against it. Yeah. Okay.
Like your Aaron Rodgers and the JJ Watts.
They were the ones with the bigger platform, the bigger social media platform where they could get out there and talk about that. That's really interesting, I'm glad it passed because I didn't want to see football lockout. The players are going to get a little bit more revenue sharing. So, I mean,
when is the last time we had a football lockout?
When the last time y'all won the Super Bowl?
That's not true. We won in '92. That's not true.
That's not true.
That is not true. It was what, 87, something like that?
87.
Thank you very much.
I think that was the last lockout.
Yeah, they get mad, boy.
Every time they win the Super Bowl, we have a lockout.
Whatever. We went no lockout '92. Wasn't no lockout.
You sure?
Positive.
Yes. Always got to be
What else happened during the off season? I can't remember what else we were supposed to.
What's his name? One of those linebackers. He used to be with Green Bay. Then he went to, I think, to Los Angeles. They let him go. Matthews. Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews. They did. Yeah.
Did anybody re-sign him yet?
I don't believe he got re-signed. Cam still not re-signed. There's a few of them out there.
It's going to be hard for Cam because you can't get him in to do a physical.
Yeah, I think he's still injured.
Who signs him? How do you sign
the Chargers?
More. I think I just read a report there too that they question he still has an injury with his foot. He still got something going on.
The Chargers said they rolling with what you call
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, really?
They said it's his job. It's his job to lose.
Yep.
So
we're gonna talk about Todd Gurley.
Oh yeah, I knew it was somebody. Where did he go? Todd Gurley. He went to the Falcons.
Yeah, like the next year contract. Yeah,
and the Falcons. Yeah, and the Falcons released Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know about that move for the Falcons.
I don't either. I mean, both of them were injury prone. You might as well dance with the one you knew.
If Gurley is healthy, if he's fine, I think they're gonna be fine with it.
But that's the thing; he's not gonna never be fine.
That's a big if.
It's degenerative. It's never gonna be fine.
Yeah.
The only benefits they got from signing him is that he was a Georgia Bulldog, and there's a lot of Georgia fans. Of course, in Atlanta. So
it's home now. Yeah.
They're gonna so they may come out to the games and get a little more. Get a little more.
You on a professional broadcast. We're on a professional broadcast. You about to get muted, sir. You about to be muted. I'm about to mute you, Holly.
Okay. Wow. Maybe they plan to use Todd Gurley in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they still got Coleman, the other guy who they were switching in and out with Freeman.
Coleman.
He's in San Francisco.
Coleman's not there. Coleman's Francisco.
You got Smith.
Okay.
Smith. It was Smith. I know they were. Yeah, you're right. They had another guy going in and out. Maybe Gurley's going to be more of their receiving type back, and they're going to
Okay.
use the other guy for their thumper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because Gurley has to be used sparingly, and you kind of constantly be hoping that you don't injure him. And I don't know. I just think he should retire.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be interesting to see, how Sean McVay and Jerry Goff, how they handle the situation with Gurley out of there. I mean, because he was basically there. He's basically the reason why they were successful on offense. So it's gonna be interesting. To
Not
see
last year though.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Yeah, he was a
Yeah, because
non-factor.
Not
Yeah,
last
but
year.
last year they
non-factor.
weren't that successful
Yeah, they
on
weren't that
offense.
successful.
Well, they were
So
still 9-7.
yeah, but like I
Yeah.
said, it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts and if Jared Goff gets exposed. So we'll see.
I think they were already kind of showing their adjustment. I think they'll get a running backs are kind of easy to find.
I think so too.
So I think they'll get a running back. They'll find them second, third rounder, maybe even fourth rounder, and he won't be a Todd Gurley, no, but I think they'll be okay. Yeah, I really do.
You think that the Rams will be okay, or the
Yeah, I think the Rams will be okay. I don't like it with the Falcons.
yeah.
I don't see it. Like you said, Brian, why not dance with the person that you know if you're going to deal with injuries and stuff like that? So, very, very interesting thing to watch. How about the Bears? The Bears signed
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, yeah.
Oh, they did sign
And
him.
what the hell are the Jaguars doing too?
What do they do?
Like,
Well, they rolling with
they're
Mitch
gutting their
Minshew.
team. But
They rolling
not
with
just
Minshew.
that, they're getting rid of all their defenders. They have one of the top defenses in the league. What, 2
Yeah, they
years
let
ago?
Calais Campbell go to the Ravens.
Yeah, they're gutting their defense. I don't understand that at all.
I'm surprised that their head coach is still there anyway. So,
Who's the head coach?
Yeah.
what's his name, Mark?
I got his picture his face, but I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah,
Oh, he's on the hot seat though. I think the owner gave him
Yeah, he is.
like 1
Yeah,
year,
he's on the hot seat.
kind of to turn things around. But
Doug Marrone. That's his name.
Doug
Marrone.
Marrone.
There you
Marrone.
go.
So I guess we got the Foles and what's garbage's name? Trubisky. Foles and Trubisky are going to battle it out for the starting position for the Bears. I mean, does it even matter which one wins that starting position when it comes down to it?
Well, it does for Trubisky because if he loses that boy, he might as well cancel his Christmas.
And let's not forget Foles. Let's not forget Foles is a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Oh gosh,
Can't ride that anymore. That's the old.
Hey, it still counts. Still counts. It wasn't that long ago.
Speaking of quarterbacks, what do you guys think? You think Kyle Allen gonna beat out Haskins for a starting job in Washington?
Yeah, he beat him when they traded for him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He beat him when they traded for him. Like, come on, y'all. That was Ron Rivera's quarterback last year.
Yep.
What we start the show off with, being married to your quarterback. One of the first things we talked about.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he's not the answer. I don't think he's the answer.
Haskins is done.
So just what I'm saying, you think Haskins is the answer?
Stop trying to slide out the shot there, Calhoun. When we start talking about the Redskins.
I mean, I don't know if Haskins is the answer, but I don't think Allen is the answer either. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not saying he is, but what I'm saying is he beat out Haskins already.
I mean, we probably.
I believe that.
I mean, they said we're going to draft. They said we're going to draft Chase, the linebacker, but maybe we should draft Tua or somebody else to bring in. I don't know.
No, I want Chase.
You ain't gonna get Tua if you take Chase.
Well, I know that. I'm just saying maybe take Chase.
Did you guys hear this report that two teams' doctors actually failed Tua, saying he still got some problems, he still got issues.
Oh, really?
Well,
So I don't know if it's a smoke screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what doctors failed.
Get people to drop. Yeah.
Well, what they filmed?
I guess they looked at the medical reports. No, they looked at the medical report, went over and discussed it, but they basically gave him a failing grade for his physical based on that. They didn't tell you who the two teams were, but And like I said, it could all be smoke screen to get people to drop that so he can land.
Ooh,
to
I don't
one
know
of
though.
the
They
teams,
do
but
smoke screens, but I don't think you can do that. Have your doctors fail a guy?
what's that?
That's a little more
No,
than throwing a smoke screen.
as far as the teams, their physical report for the team,
Yeah, but
not
what
this,
I'm
not to put for the team, right?
that I
They
don't
gave
know.
him a low
I didn't
grade.
think
He gave him
teams.
a low failing grade.
Yeah, I thought teams that was a little. I thought that. So isn't that a little unethical to play around like that when you're? I know I get what you're saying about smoke screens, but that might be pushing it. Like maybe their doctors might truly think that he has a low grade and would recommend, but to leak that, I don't know if they're supposed
I
to
mean, the
do
lowest
that
he would
type of stuff.
drop would be to the second round. He wouldn't drop lower than that.
He wouldn't. Dude, he wouldn't make it out the
Off,
first round. Somebody's gonna take a chance on him.
What
Somebody
about
take
off
a
of
chance on him.
medical, I see him in the second. I'd say second round. It would be just like Jalen Smith was when we took him.
Think about
It
it.
would,
New
What
England
it would
injuries
be
he
that
down
coming
type
there
of
off?
low.
situation.
New
Hip,
England would grab him.
yeah, hips could be bad.
maybe
Yeah,
New
Hips could be
England
bad.
would.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hips could be bad though.
Yeah.
And they don't heal So I could see second round. I could see early second round. Maybe late first. Maybe somebody jumps back up at the bottom of the first half, first round and takes him.
Well, I wouldn't mind if the Redskins, if not Tua, if they took Jalen Hurts. I'd take him.
There's so much about him that some people are saying he may not be a NFL quarterback.
Well, he's going to get
Yeah,
drafted. He's definitely getting maybe.
but are they going to try to change him to what is he 5'10"?
No, he's 6'2". Jalen Hurts is 6'2".
Is he?
Are we talking about the right person?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama and
Yeah.
Oklahoma's old quarterback.
Yeah, I didn't think he was 6'2".
Yeah, he's 6'2".
Oh wow.
So we'll see. I don't know. But I know Allen ain't the answer. I don't know if what's his name?
Haskins.
Haskins.
I don't know if Haskins is the answer either, but I definitely know sure. I'm pretty sure Allen ain't the answer.
Well,
I
they're
think
talking
we're
about
gonna see.
they're going to use Allen because he knows the system already. So if we start the season short, throw Allen in there, we can get it going after all this this craziness is gone. Put him in, let him run it, and then ease Haskins in.
Yeah,
That was
Haskins
before.
ain't
I
lying.
don't like it.
Haskins is done. I think we're gonna see some stuff this year that we've never seen in the draft, especially with everything that's going on now.
Oh yeah.
Teams are gonna probably make some picks.
Did you hear about the NFL? The Steelers. One of the Steelers brass was trying to get the NFL to give them more time when making picks
Yes.
because they were concerned with any type of technical difficulties or with this technology, something not working. They wanted to get more time to be safe.
If the NFL can't get a conference call going,
well, that's what they're saying too. They're saying they're all 32 teams are supposed to be on a conference call as well as the other additional technologies and stuff. So they botched it, but it was just something that was brought up.
Yeah, I heard today they were going to do a mock to make sure that all the technical stuff is worked out. So it should be that.
I would think they would do that for a regular one too. I mean, for a regular, you gotta.
I mean, regular one is live.
All you got to deal with is camera and productions for a regular one.
You still do a walkthrough, wouldn't you? I mean,
just something that was brought up. Okay, who's listening to the show?
Who's listening to the show? That was Calhoun. That was Calhoun.
You can watch it later.
We're gonna talk about
Jenny, get out the road, Jenny.
That's what it was. Somebody walked in watching the show.
We're gonna talk about Dallas quarterback.
No,
Dallas is what?
Quarterback. Why are we not gonna talk about Dallas quarterback?
We're gonna talk about Dallas signing Dontari Poe.
You're not gonna talk about Dak Prescott? How you got franchise?
Talk about Mr. Prescott.
It's nothing to talk about.
You don't think they did him wrong? You don't think he did him
wrong?
I understand the question.
No, because the dispute between Dak and the Cowboys is years, not money. So
yeah, it's not about the money; it's about the length of the contract.
There was a report that came out that said they were out there. He was out there practicing with. I don't know if it was real or not. He was out there practicing with Dez. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was out there too.
They tweeted it. Yep.
Y'all gonna resign Dez?
Hell, I hope
Probably.
not. But
Welcome Bears back into
You
the
said
fold.
I
probably?
hope not.
I
You
think
said probably?
so.
Oh, snap!
Yeah,
Really?
I think so. As a third receiver, fourth receiver, possibly.
Oh,
I'd like to keep
Man, you
that
can't-
train in the tracks. I would not like to restart that. But
I think it's
Right.
gonna happen. I think it's gonna be a 1-year deal.
so Mark, you
But
think?
then again, there are a lot of quarterback. I mean, there are a lot of receivers in the draft this year, though. So
yes.
Yeah, you can get some talent wide receiver in lower rounds too. There's some monsters sitting late in the round. Yes.
yeah.
So, Mark, is Ben gonna be ready to go? There's been words he might not be ready.
Let's just call him. What was the character from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon? Cornelius, whatever. 'Cause that's what he looked like on that video he did. It was on Twitter, I think it was. Somebody needs to get his hair cut. I know that.
Well, I think all of us do now in this middle of this quarantine.
Nah,
I
he
know
looked
I
like he
need.
already needed it. Did the Steelers pick up a quarterback, Mark, to back up Ben this year? Didn't they get a better known?
I think y'all should stop asking more questions.
I think he
Oh.
froze.
He froze.
Oh, he's
yeah,
moving.
I
He's
think-
moving.
No, I'm still here.
Uh-oh.
What was that again?
Did the Steelers get a more solid backup quarterback?
No.
What, did Mason Rudolph?
No. Yeah, I thought they had picked somebody up, but I guess they're going.
We still got Rudolph and Duck Hodges.
So
They
y'all
found
got
another.
nothing.
Still got done.
They found another journeyman. I forgot who it was right now, but
Yeah, I thought
I
they
mean,
signed somebody else.
yeah, it was a journeyman. It was a journey quarterback. It
Oh,
wasn't no big name. But we just wait for Ben to come back. He's progressing. He's gonna be ready for the season start. He can be good.
it's going to be very interesting. Well, so I think we covered all the topics that we had planned to cover, and we're about to the end of the show. Anybody else got anything that they wanted to bring up or mention?
Stay home.
Yes, please
Yes,
do.
definitely.
Stay home so we can get this thing over with.
Discipline, please.
Yeah, only if you need to go out. Go out for what you need to, and come back home. Just be home with your family. Enjoy your family. It's not just about your safety. It's about the people that you come back home to. Think about that when you leave the house.
Yeah. And also, if you're one of the people that hoard all the toilet paper, I hope your dog or your cat pisses and eats it up or something like that, or your basement is flooded and it floods all your toilet paper and makes it useless. I don't appreciate not being able to see toilet paper in the store when I go. Not that I need none right now, but I'm just saying it was totally unnecessary.
I would like to see some on the shelf just once. I haven't seen any since this whole thing started.
You can. You just got to get there early enough.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not early enough.
But like you said, it's still not on the shelf. It's
Right.
normally
It's
still
on
on
a
a pallet
pallet.
or something, and somebody's passing it out.
And all you people that went out and bought those adult diapers, because I went to the store and the adult diaper section was completely empty. I hope you know you still got to wipe your butt when you take the diaper off. So I don't know what you buying adult diapers for.
Why exactly were you in the adult diaper section?
I was just checking
He
to
was
see.
shopping.
I was
He was
just
shopping.
You tell us something.
I was like, I might need a backup. I checked. It wasn't there. It wasn't there.
Look, as long as the toilet bowl's
Too
flushed,
much
I'm good.
I was
information.
getting ready to say, if the
Too much
toilet is
information.
working, bro.
As long as the water's running, I'm straight.
Yeah. Why would you ever need a freaking diaper? Yeah.
I just want to check.
Okay.
I was like, hey, maybe we need a backup plan. You never know. I just want to need backup.
Back your ass up into the shower. That's what you get.
Yeah, you know?
Because my original backup plan was I was going to go to a restaurant or something and go use the bathroom, but they killed that.
But they close up on you.
Yeah, they'll let you. Yeah.
Why don't you go get a bidet, Marcus?
I thought about that too.
Yeah, buy a
Hey,
bidet.
have you seen the thing that they've been promoting on Facebook? It's like a bidet thing. You hook it right to your current toilet.
Yes.
I might have to get that. I think that'd be very enjoyable. I think that'd be very
It's very
enjoyable.
clean. It's very clean.
Okay. All right. So we appreciate y'all joining us this week for the show. Look out for future shows coming up. We may do a draft show, like you said. Again, stay safe out there, and love your family, love the people that you love. Marcus, take it home.
You got anything you want to say, Fibito?
No, I'm good. Glad to be here. You finally get to see
Yeah,
me.
After 2 seasons.
finally.
Oh,
Right. Let's try to make it.
That's not
consistent.
true. He's always there for the
The draft.
the draft show.
the draft
Okay.
show. That's
True.
All right.
True.
Well, before we leave, I want to encourage everyone to like, share, subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Help us get those views and those likes up. Brian, you know what you're supposed to say.
Follow us on Twitter at Delayed Game 3.
That's right, follow us there. And I want to say same bad time, same bad channel, but I don't know when that's going to be. But we'll see you soon. Peace. We out.
Peace.
Peace.